We welcome you all. And we know that everyone's great to be willing to be recorded as we record this great service. So the Unities worldwide all share the same vision statement, or almost all of us share the same vision statement. And as a vision, we have a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. And what does that look like? Well, as we were listening to that fabulous song, I was thinking about a world where everyone not only understood that they are part of that one power, but that we are all connected and consciously connected to that one power on a consistent basis, knowing that we are part of and co-creating the world and using the power of love and eliminating all the hate and the fear and all the crappy stuff that we think about ourselves that's not true. So that's the kind of powerfully transformed world that I see. And our mission at Unity of London is in co-creating with Spirit to transform lives, our lives and other people's lives through shared spiritual awakening. As we share our new knowledge, that knowledge grows and deepens, and we can light another candle as we brighten our light. What does it look like? Well, at Unity of London, we know we like to be and we are a loving, inclusive, supportive community. We promote self-expression, be the person that God intended you to be by living what we believe, the 5 principles. And that starts with that there is only one power and it is good. And by inspiring each other and other people to make a positive difference in the world, truly seeing the face of God in each person that we meet, and sharing our love, knowing that we are all one and connecting. And as an organization or as a movement of unity, at Unity of London, we aspire to provide fellowship and education for spiritual seekers of all walks of life so that we all grow and brighten together. We will have breakout rooms at the end of our service today, as always, with our prayer chaplains. Room 1 will be Wilda. Room 2 would be Dawn. And so anyone looking for individual one-on-one prayer, we do have that available at the end of the service. Just put a note in the chat with your name for prayer, or you can let us know at the end of the service. And speaking of prayer, I invite you now to join me in prayer. And as we settle into our chairs, close your eyes if that makes you feel comfortable, and settle your awareness into your heart space and feel the power, that one power that Daniel Nahmod sang about at the beginning of our time together today, the one power that flows through each and every one of us. And we hold in prayer our entire Unity of London community, all of our family members, our friends, everyone that's connected, and then beyond. We also hold in prayer this month Unity Spiritual Center of Windsor and the Unity Church of Mississauga, and all spiritual gatherings that are happening today, for we know that there are many paths to that one power, one and only God. And it doesn't care what you call it, only that you connect and co-create with it. It only wants to give us the best in life. And we hold our community in prayer for healing and renewing and moving through the chaos called a pandemic, so that we can once again come together and spend time in fellowship in person, not just online. We see businesses opening up and prospering because people are back to work, spending their money, getting the things that they want, buying gifts, and the flow is continual. We see that flow of abundance growing and opening up and touching each and every one of us and those that we care about and the whole world. For always, in everything, right where we are, the very air we breathe is spirit, is love, the life force, the intelligence of the universe, Call it Bob, call it Sam. It's there and it loves you. It loves us and it is love and we are part of it. And so as we prepare for this time of growing in understanding and sharing our spiritual awakening and fellowship, we open our hearts and minds and know that everything is always working out for us, for our highest, greatest good. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. And now you're touched today by Sylvia Power, because the other Sylvia is going to share today's daily word.
Thank you, Sylvia. Thank you for a wonderful prayer. Today's daily word is journey. My life's journey begins and ends in the heart of God. I feel excitement at the beginning of a journey, thinking about the adventures, the beautiful sights, and the fascinating people I will find at my journey's end. Even as I look forward to reaching my destination, however, I remain alert, open to the adventures and insights that await discovery along the way. My faith tells me that my spiritual journey began in the heart of God long before my human birth. In childhood, I looked outward, longing for the adventures that would become waypoints on my journey to maturity. Now, I journey inward, longing for the spiritual home I never really left. I'm learning that even the most ordinary day can become an opportunity to realize that the heart of God is present everywhere. And from Psalm 121, verse 8, the Lord will keep your going out and your coming in from this time on and forevermore. And now it's my pleasure to introduce our speaker. Sharing an understanding of the power and practice of prayer in unity is a natural choice for our speaker, Pauline Duncan-Thrasher. Pauline became a prayer chaplain soon after joining Unity of London in 2012. She's one of 4 prayer chaplains that guide prayer and meditation online at 11 a.m. 6 days a week. Pauline is an active member of our spiritual leadership team for Unity of London and hopes to progress to her first week of licensed Unity teacher leadership training in October. Please join me in welcoming our own Pauline Duncan-Thrasher.
Thank you very much, dear Sylvia. Sylvia Square and Sylvia Vanderhoek are president of our board. The song that you heard at the beginning of our service often makes me feel like crying, not from sadness, but from the sheer power, from the sheer wonder of hearing what we have within us. And how often we forget about that, how often we diminish our own power. And prayer is what we can do to reclaim our divine essence. It is a tool that we use to recall our divine identity. Maybe it's a little bit like putting on really fancy clothes and getting all gussied up and looking fabulous on the outside, but on the inside, you feel like a twit. So it's not about the external at all. It's about the internal. And I love the analogy that Linda Martella Whitsett gives when she talks about what happens when our minds are congested with unconscious assumptions and limiting beliefs. Has that ever happened to you? Have you ever said about yourself, oh, I just feel awful today. I guess I'm going to be awful feeling. It's one of those days, one of those awful days. Have you ever said that or thought it? That might seem small, but it can foreshadow your whole day. Now at Unity, you know that we talk about affirmations and denials. So this message is going to take a little closer look at affirmations and denials. You see, I totally believe that what we think of God, how we perceive God, and how we think of ourselves will direct how we choose to pray. If we think of God as an almighty, powerful being outside us, and we think of ourselves as a puny little creature saying, please, God, help me, or you awful God, why didn't you answer my prayer? Or, oh, please, please help me. If we operate out of our feelings of futility, helplessness, weakness, anger, we've all had those feelings. And maybe a lot of us have often thought, I want someone outside me to save me, protect me, nourish me, take care of me, hold me in loving arms. Well, the prayer in unity is about recognizing the divine power inside us, calling it forth. And whether you call the divine power inside you God, as the song said, or Buddha, or spiritual essence, doesn't matter. It's that you recognize that it is within you. When your mind is all congested, you know what that's like, with beliefs in how limited you are, in how small you are, how weak you are. When it's congested with all those limiting beliefs, repeating affirmations is like adding ice cubes and lemons to a clogged sink. That's what Linda Martellowitz says. Just think about it. Have you ever had a clogged sink? Have you ever had the message given to you? When you're in trouble, make lemonade. Well, denying the trouble, saying there's no trouble here. The person I love is not sick. I'm not really poor. Denying all that is not the point. The point is to take a really good look at how you look at that situation. Spiritual denial snaps us out of the trance of permanence. Sometimes we get the feeling that if we're suffering, we'll always be suffering. If I'm sad, well, I'm just going to be sad for the rest of my life. Is that a limiting belief? Is that locking yourself up into a little cube and not being able to get out? Do you really want that? Spiritual denial is eliminating our belief in limitation and impossibility. As you know, I've been a Toastmaster for many years, and I've coached many potential speakers, all ages, all nationalities. And it is always exhilarating to see those potential speakers snap out of their limiting beliefs about their own ability or lack of it. Oh, I can't speak. Oh, I could never make up a speech on the spur of the moment, they say. And what we say to them is, believe in the possibility. Open yourself to the possibility that your limitation is not forever. Do you think that prayer can be like that? Yes. Absolutely yes. we learn to deny our negative interpretations of events. COVID is a perfect example. Think of how you interpreted COVID. It doesn't mean you say COVID didn't exist. It doesn't mean you say, I'm tired of being stuck in my apartment or my home. I'm tired of not being able to hug. It doesn't mean you say, you deny all that. You can say, when I finally am able to hug someone, it will feel so much more precious. When I am able to see my friends from Unity of London at that barbecue in August, it will be like the most precious gift in the world. It is being open to the possibility of change. Knowing that unhappy situations that cause you anger or disappointment or a feeling of failure are not forever. We can release those feelings by taking a look at where we are and reminding ourselves of the power in us. Here's an example. Your very best friend has moved thousands of miles away. The person you counted on to support you and nurture you and be with you. Thousands of miles away, and you feel sad. You feel like mourning. So you say to yourself, I'm not going to be able to see that friend. What can I do? Well, I could go on Zoom. I could phone that friend. I could send that friend a letter. I could receive letters from that friend. Do you see the switch? You're not denying the fact that your friend is thousands of miles away. You face that like the real person you are. And then you take a look at your options. Perhaps in a strange way, you can become closer to that friend through letters, through phone calls, through listening, watching, observing, participating on Zoom. And maybe you're saying in your head, I'm so sick of Zoom. I'm sick of the computer. Well, we've all said that. So, what are your options? I was invited to do a presentation at a Toastmasters celebration on Friday night. Now, Friday night is Dan and my favorite night, even though we're retired. We love Friday nights. I love spending time with Dan. We might watch a movie, we eat pizza, we just relax. And I thought, oh, phoo, I don't want to give up my Friday night. Then I looked at the options. So you say, no, thank you, I can't speak, or yes, I will. Turned out to be a wonderful experience. You see, we all have choices. Even how we choose to pray is a choice. You can pray as a pitiful, helpless, weak individual saying, please, God, help me, and hope that he answers. Or you can stop feeling pitiful, helpful, weak, and start recognizing the strength in you, the power in you. Reclaim and assert the divinity in you. Unfold yourself and open up, as we do every single day when we pray together, to the possibilities of being a spiritually divine essence in this world. That is exciting. You don't have to do it. Nobody forces you. It's all up to you. And maybe that makes it a little bit scary. You might be thinking, but I don't want to be strong. I want somebody to help me. Guess what? The divine power in you is also in other people. And you can have the divine essence in other people supporting and encouraging you. When you feel weak, you go to prayer. Now, there aren't too many people that join us in our daily prayer for whatever reasons, and that's okay. Dawn and I are usually there faithfully most days, and Nancy, and Wilda from all the way in Manitoulin. And Dawn and I have said to each other, or two or more are gathered in my name, it's okay. And occasionally we've just been one of us. But that habit of praying, whether you pray all by yourself or whether you choose to look online and pray with someone else, that is a beautiful way of reminding yourself of your divine identity. Your divine identity. Do not rely on your feelings of insecurity. Get unstuck. Now, Myrtle Fillmore talked about God in one of her books, and I loved what she said, and I want to read it. She said this: first of all, listen to the stillness within your own soul. Just be quiet. Turn off the TV. Move away from the Olympics just for a while. Go into a quiet place. Real self, said Myrtle, is spiritual, and it corresponds to the Christ principle, which is the life of humans. Your own willingness to come into spiritual consciousness and to develop and use the Christ power will determine your growth. Are you willing? I can't force you. Nobody can. I could rant and rave and throw my arms all over the place. That's not it. It's within you, each of you. The seeds of light and health and prosperity are working in us to transform us completely. Cultivate your soul. It will reveal to you in the silence of meditation glories and beauties of which you've not dreamed. And she said this, and I wondered if she said this is just me making up a story, in response to Charles. I'm just guessing, and I could be totally wrong. God is not a cold, senseless principle like that of mathematics. But God is the principles of life, love, and intelligence. We are divine life, divine love, divine intelligence. We are that. And if you doubt that, if you're saying, well, I don't feel that way, that's okay. Stop and think. What is holding you back? What do you need to release before you can claim divine life, love, and vitality? What do you need to release? I release the feeling that I'm not worthy. I am a worthy, lovable person. Denial followed by affirmation. I release the feeling that I am lonely and pitiful. I affirm that I have the capacity to reach out by phone, by mail, maybe at a distance to a friend. I release the feeling that I will be poor forever. I affirm my capacity to attract abundance of friends, money if it's important to me, and a wonderful home. It doesn't mean that it will happen all of a sudden. Your thoughts are going to manifest. If they're thoughts of poverty, limitation, rage, disappointment, sadness, futility, the conditions are going to continue. Choose your thoughts. Don't try to be adding ice cubes and lemon to your clogged up sink of your mind. Figure out what you need to release and then work at releasing it. You could speak it out loud, you can write it in a journal, you can share it with a friend. The act of releasing takes patience, perseverance, time, and most of all, faith. I believe in you. I believe that you, as members of Unity of London, have made a commitment to a way of prayer that is transforming the power that is within you. And whenever you forget your divine identity, use prayer to reclaim that divine identity. I wish I had a joke because you all look very serious. You can reclaim your divine identity by laughing too. Share a joke. Find a friend. Find someone who likes to laugh and just laugh out loud. Enjoy your pets. Enjoy nature. Remind yourself of the abundance that is all around and within. And let us now go to meditation. I invite you to, I don't see Elizabeth with us today. We always stretch. Dawn smiles. In our daily prayer, we do a stretch our arms out, stretch them wide. You can touch your toes if you want. And why stretch? You're saying why? Well, because you've been sitting a long time. To even stand up and stretch makes you feel good. You can wiggle your fingers as Nancy's doing. Do some shoulder shrugs. It's stretching your body, but also stretching your mind, spacing it out to encompass all the love and light that is possible. I wanted to share today a lovely prayer I found from Reverend Beatrice Gallerano Bell. So I invite you to imagine yourself in your favorite place, surrounded by your favorite people, and some of you are right now, side by side with someone you really care about, or in close proximity. And if you want to close your eyes, please do so. I am now in the sacred place, that place where the Father and I are one. I close the door to all distractions, to all external issues. I surrender myself to the divine presence in the assurance that all sorrow is released. The outpouring of healing and comforting love brings peace and calm to my soul. Infinite wisdom reveals to me a new understanding of my life and my circumstances. Guided and inspired, I find the strength to live each day with faith, joy, and enthusiasm. Dear God, this moment, this present moment, is our moment. In it, I experience the gift of divine presence, and I find the peace that I am looking for. I open wide the doors of my being to receive the wonderful blessings and goodness prepared for me. And I'll give you some time right now in the silence to affirm, to release and affirm. And I'll let you know when our time is fulfilled. And remember in this silence to continue to breathe in, breathe out, breathing in all the loving, light-filled goodness. Breathe out any obstructions to your divine identity. And before we return, I have a little picture to share. I hope you can see it. Oh, there. I'll hold it in front of my camera. It's little ducklings. And you know how little ducklings follow their mom. And the whole family supports them. And this just says, reminding my family is supportive of me and I am supportive of them. So we're not ducklings, we're people. We support each other at Unity of London. And even though affirming strength is what we practice right now in the present, sometimes we need support. Ask for it. You have a chance following this service to pray with Dawn or Wilda. You have a chance to call any of our prayer chaplains anytime. And they will help you to reclaim your identity by offering affirmative prayers. They're not counselors. They are prayer chaplains who will pray with you. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen.
Thank you, Pauline, for a great explanation and some good examples of using denials before your affirmations, denying that anything has power over us. And thank you so much for that reminder. And as always, another great talk and some things to very much think about it. I was just thinking how I was saying, hey, God, like, why aren't you dropping that winning ticket in my lap? I haven't gotten an answer yet. Stay tuned. Let's have another song and we'll talk about how blessed we are.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Ah, and we are so blessed at Unity of London. And we take a moment now to thank everyone and to thank truly our source of all abundance, that the energy of money flows to us and through us in the form of money, but it is still all coming from the source. And we are so grateful and so blessed at Unity of London for those that continue to give to us, whether it's a spontaneous gift as they have a call upon their heart, or it's a regular monthly or weekly gift in the form of a tithe. We know that as we give, we receive, but also we appreciate you showing that we are still spiritually feeding you because you are still feeding us. And so it is so wonderful. And our prayer for protection is da, 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 da. The light of God surrounds me. And say this with me: I am the light. The love of God enfolds me. I am the love. The power of God protects me. I am the power. The presence of God watches over me. I am the presence. Wherever I am. God is, and all is well. Yay, Sam. And a peace song. Have a great day and hang out for some fellowship if you like. So remember, you're all muted. So anyone that has a comment, question for Pauline about her talk or whatnot, just make sure you unmute yourself. Okay, well, thanks for coming out. We have a board meeting after this. Pauline, you've got them speechless.
I've got something to say. I've got something to say.
Okay, well, and then I think Elaine's put her hand up maybe. Go ahead, Wilda.
Yeah. Well, I've got a few things to say. One is thank you for that lovely reminder and of who we are as divine beings, Pauline. And so what I try and do is not beat myself up after I completely missed my prayer on Friday when it was my turn to pray. So secondly, it's just really nice. Oh, Ron has slipped away, but I just wanted to thank Ron for showing up week after week, even though we can't see him. And I acknowledge that he is here. And it's really great to see you, Elaine, today. Really happy that you are able to make it with us today. That's really, it's lovely to see your face. The third thing that I have to say is for some of you, and most of you may remember my friend Azar. She came to Unity for quite a number of times when she was living with me in London. And I just wanted to ask you to please hold her in prayer. Her father passed away recently. And of course, he's in, well, not necessarily of course, but he is in Iran. So I doubt very much that, that she will be able to return for her father's funeral. And so just please hold her in your prayer, because otherwise she's doing great in Toronto. She has a wonderful job, and she has been living a good life. But I know right now she is probably feeling quite sad about her father's passing, because they were quite close. So I just wanted to mention that to you. So thank you.
Thanks, Wilda. Elaine, did you want to say anything? You are muted. You have to unmute yourself if you did want to say something. No, you're still muted. If you can click on the little microphone in the bottom right-hand corner, bottom left-hand corner. Oh, you got it. There you go.
No, I'm just saying that I'm grateful to be here and thankful for the message this morning and listening to Pauline. It's really great to be here. You mentioned something going on in August. What's happening in August?
Well, depending on how things go right now, we're planning that perhaps we will have a service and consider going back into the church and also have a barbecue following our first service. Where the board is meeting after this, we're talking around the 15th of August. And I've asked people to send us a note as to their interest, certainly what they might do to help partake in making sure that the service goes through, whether it's kitchen, sound booth, greeters, whatever, and also what will make you feel comfortable. What are some of the protocols besides having hand sanitizer and things like that? If anybody has any ideas or concerns, love to hear from you. So,
Awesome.
great, thank you so much. And thanks, Don, for sending me a message about being willing to be a greeter when you come back and when we go back. Thank you. Anybody else? Barb and George, you look like Barb, you're smiling. You're just smiling because you're thinking about going back.
I was just thinking it was a good thing that my chair was back as far as it was this morning, because I just got out of the pool before the service started and I was dashing around, so wet head and everything. Pauline, I loved your message this morning. I often forget to do that denial and affirmation. And I'm so glad you reaffirmed that. That was a real big message for me today.
Oops. Thanks a lot, Barb. To be honest, sometimes I forget to do it too.
And I've been really not making time for it either. And that's another real, I'm going to try my best to join your 11 o'clock, because so often time flies by and then I look at the clock and I think, darn it, I didn't make time again. So yeah.
Good. Thanks, Barb.
Wonderful